clear, we're looking at this equation up here.
Mhm.
What is keeping y from being by itself? What else do you see in the box?
X.
X, and x is being added.
Mhm.
Okay, so how do you undo addition by x?
You would subtract it.
Exactly. So exactly what you just said there. Subtract x from both sides of the equation. Y equals 20 minus x.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Mhm.
Now in the second equation, you have a y. Do you see that it's x times y right here?
Yes.
So instead of the y, you're going to replace it with 20 minus x.
Okay.
So it's x parentheses 20 minus x equals 64.
Mhm.
Is that okay? Like you're
Mhm.
literally taking that, plopping it in there, and you've got it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Now we only have one variable in this equation. Like their x is in two places, but there's only one variable. There's no y anymore.
Okay.
So now we're going to distribute in. So it's 20x minus x squared equals 64.
Mhm.
All right. Now we're also going to need to rearrange this equation. When you're solving a quadratic, you generally want everything on one side of the equation. So you have a choice. You can either subtract 64 and move it over, or you can add x squared to the right and subtract 20x from the right. Which do you prefer, but more importantly, why? Which is better and why?
Can you hear say that again? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, is the audio coming in okay?
Yeah. Okay, now I hear you. Yeah.
Great. So I'm trying to ask you here, I'm saying, which is better? Is it better to move the 64 to the left because we want everything on one side? Or is it better to move the 20x to the right and then add the x squared and move it to the right? And why? More importantly, why?
I would say the 64 to the other side.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. Let's subtract 64 here. Now I'm going to do a little rearranging. Minus x squared plus 20x minus 64 equals 0.
Hmm. Okay. Since this,
Now, does anything about this bother you?
the 0?
No, you got to have 0 on one side.
Okay.
It's always equal 0 when you're solving quadratics.
I would say
How about this out in front?
the negative sign.
Yeah, we've not done any problems the last couple lessons where there's been a negative in front, at least for this type of problem.
Mhm.
So that's where the kind of the answer I was looking for in the previous one. Now this will still work, but you want to keep in mind that you have to get rid of this negative. So to do that, we're going to multiply everything by -1.
Okay.
Can you tell me what the left side becomes when you multiply everything by -1?
X squared plus 12x.
This is positive 20.
Oh, positive. So
What
just
happens when you multiply it by a negative?
it becomes a negative.
Okay, so negative 20x, and then the last one,
64.
plus 64 equals 0. Okay, now we can solve this. Okay,
Mhm.
so this is a type a equals 1. All right, and you've done a bunch of these. You're looking for two numbers that multiply to 64, but they have to add to -20.
Okay.
So you start making your list here, like 1 times 64 is 64. 2 times 32 is 64. 4 times 16 is 64. 6 times, does 6 work? No, 6 does not work. 8 times 8 is 64. Do any of these add up to a negative number?
No,
So what is the error on all of these? What have I not done that I should do, especially if we're looking for a negative?
they're all positive.
That's right, and they should both be negative because two negatives multiply to a positive.
Mhm. It would be the 4 and 16.
-4 and -16. So you write x minus 4, x minus 16 equals 0.
Mhm. Okay, getting it down. Uh-huh. All right. Are you there?
Yes. Okay, we're not done yet, though. We're not done.
Okay.
You have to set each of these equal to 0.
All right.
So you literally write x minus 4 equals 0, x minus 16 equals 0.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Will you solve those for us, please?
Solve them? How do I
Yes.
solve them?
Get x by itself.
Oh, get
What
x by 2. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
that's
you
what,
would minus by 4 both sides.
but it's already subtracted by 4. So how do you
Okay,
undo
so you would
subtraction?
plus
Plus 4.
addition.
So what does x equal?
It would just equal 0. Oh,
You're at,
4. It would equal
yeah,
4.
yes. Okay, now use the same approach for the other one, please.
It would be plus 16. So x equals 16.
Yes. Okay. Now, sometimes they want you to sort of summarize your answers. They want you to say that like 4 is the first number, 6 is the second number, or 16 is the second number.
Mhm. Finds it the sum. Okay.
Okay, now let's look at the original problem one more time. Find two numbers that have a sum of 20 and a product of 64. Do these numbers add up to 20?
Yes.
Do they multiply to 64?
Hmm. Yes.
They do. So we know that these are correct. Okay,
Okay.
sometimes you have to check at the end. You have to say, okay, does my answer actually make sense? Is it right?
Mhm. Okay.
Is that okay? Clear?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, let's look at a new problem here. All right, so it says the length of the rectangle here. Let me just make this a little tiny bit bigger here. Go 16. There we go. The length of a rectangle is 4 inches more than twice the width. If the area of the rectangle is 48 square inches, what is the length of the rectangle? So here's the rectangle. I'm just drawing one arbitrarily. Based on the first sentence, I want you to look at the first sentence one more time. I want you to tell me which is longer. Is it the length or the width that's longer?
That is a confusing sentence. More than twice the uh
And if you're
I
not
would
sure
say
how to answer this, go ahead.
I would
Go
say
ahead.
length would
I
be
agree.
the longest.
I agree. Let's just say the width, for example, is 2. Okay. What does that mean? Twice the width. What do you do to this 2?
Multiply?
By 2. And then 4 more. What's more mean in math terms?
Addition.
Addition. So 8. So if the width is 2, the length is 8. That confirms your answer. Do you see how you can kind of double check that you're on the right track there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. So we're gonna call the length. We're gonna call this longer side the length and this the width. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now we can't make up numbers though. Like we have to use variables for it. Okay. So
Okay.
here's what you just told me. You said the length is 2 times the width plus 4. You actually just told me that. You say you multiply it by 2 and then you add
Mhm.
4. Do you see that?
Yes.
So if this is W on the left, the length is 2 times W plus 4.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, now how do you find the area of a rectangle? What's the formula for area of a rectangle?
Oh, now I have to remember these formulas. BH something. Let me see.
Don't overthink it. It's not a complicated formula.
Form for go.
All right, so it's base times height. Base times height.
Okay.
Now, base and height, those are kind of arbitrary words. What it really is it's the the one side times the other side, basically side one times side two. So it's equivalently, and maybe that'll make more sense in your problem, length times width. Like these are the same.
Okay. Base. Okay.
Excuse me. So give me the what's the length in our problem?
It would be 8.
Nope, that's just a made up number. That was just us sort of guessing checking here. What's the
Okay.
expression for the length in your problem here?
The length is of a rectangle is 4 inches more.
No. No, what have we written here? What's right here in the middle of the screen? What's the length?
2W plus 4.
Okay. And what is the width?
W?
Yes. Yes. I know that's uncomfortable. You're like, wait, it's a number. It's got to be a number, but it's not. It's a variable expression.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Now, do they give us the area in the problem? Let's look at it one more time. Do they give us the area value?
Yes.
Yes. Well, what is that?
48
48.
inches, square
So,
inches.
so instead of A, we can write 48 equals 2W plus 4 times W.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Now, we can distribute this W in to both expressions.
Mhm.
So that's 2W squared plus 4W.
Okay.
And just bring the 48. Are you, let me know when you're caught up to this step here.
Okay.
All right, now just like in the last problem, we have to decide, are we going to move the 48 to the right or the 2W squared left and the 4W left?
We could remove the, I would say the 2W.
Okay, so if we move it left though, what's the sign gonna, what will the sign be of this?
Negative.
Yes, and do we want negative in front of the W squared?
No.
No. So this time we actually want to go the other way. We want to subtract 48 from both sides.
Mhm.
So this becomes 2W squared plus 4W minus 48. Let me know when you get that written down.
Okay.
There's a lot going on here. I just want to make sure we're not going too fast through these steps. Lots to say each.
Okay. I have it down.
Cool. All right. So you have a choice here. You can put 0 on the left or you can put 0 on the right, which is preferable. How have we been doing it in all the other problems here today?
On the right.
On the right. Okay, so we're going to keep it on the right here. And from at least last lesson, I know I went through a list of all the different types of factoring. What is the first one that I said you always have to try first?
The greatest common factor.
Yes. Is there a number or a letter that goes into all three of these?
2.
2. So you can write a 2 on the outside, and then you're dividing each of these by 2. Can you tell me what goes inside parentheses, please?
Would be W, I think it's just W,
Squared,
plus
squared.
squared.
Yep.
Plus 2W,
Good.
minus 24.
Very good. Okay. Any questions on that?
No?
Still
Wouldn't,
still more to do. Just making sure.
okay, would, for the W squared, that wouldn't just be W, since if you were dividing,
You can only divide the number.
okay,
For what you're asking here, let's say it was W times W over W, then the W's would cancel. But that is
okay,
not what we have here. We have a 2 on the bottom.
okay, that makes sense, okay. And put that down. And okay, I have everything down.
All right, cool. Now we're going to factor this thing in parentheses. Okay, so this time we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 24. And I want your help with this one, okay? So if I put -1 here, what is the other number you need to get to negative 24?
24.
Negative 24, good. And then if I put 1 here, what does the other number have to be?
Negative 24.
Good. And now how about -2 and what number?
12.
And 2 and -12. I'll come over here to the right. How about -3? What goes with -3?
3 times 4. -4.
That gets you to 12.
Oh,
We want to get to -24. And you're allowed to use a calculator. I'm not anti-calculator. Please, grab what you need.
Would
That
be
decimus,
8.
it'd be +8. How about -4? What goes with -4?
4 times 6.
Very good. All right, now if I go to 5, 5 doesn't work. And if I go to 6, we already have 6. So you don't have to you don't have to keep going there.
Okay.
Now, which of these adds up to +2?
Oh,
One of these pairs adds up to +2. Which one? Can you take a look at them and tell me which one?
it's either -4 or 6 or 4 -6.
Okay, I agree. So which one is it?
I would say 4 and -6.
Okay, so that's like saying you have $4 and
Mhm.
you owe someone $6. Do you still owe them money?
Yes.
Yes, and we think of owing as being negative.
Mhm.
The other scenario is you have $6 and you owe someone $4. How much money do you have?
$2.
$2. So that's the one we're looking for. So W minus 4, W plus 6.
Okay, let me write that down. Let me get these for the 24, all the numbers.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Everything's written down.
All right. So now we have to set each term equal to 0. So this is a term, and it's a term because it has an X in it, or W in this case, variable. Terms have variables in them. This 2 on the left does not have a variable, so it is not a term. Okay, so you set the terms equal to 0. All right, so can you solve each of these for us, please?
So it would be W, so it would be plus addition plus 4. So it'd be W equals 4,
Good.
and then it would be W equals 6.
Nope. Try again.
Oh, oh, it'd be -6.
Yes. Now let's go back. Go ahead and get that written down.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, let's go back and think about what the context is of this problem. What does W represent in this problem that we've been working on?
Width. I
Yes.
believe so.
Now, in your life, have you ever heard of a width being a negative number?
I don't think so.
No,
But
I mean, a width is a length. I mean, you go to the store and buy something, you want, 6 feet of rope, you want a 10-foot piece of wood. It's never negative. Okay, so
yeah.
there's reasonableness to your answer. So this W equals -6. You're gonna close that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you're gonna not close that. You're gonna cross it out.
Okay.
Now we're not done, but that's an important thing. It's the reasonableness of your answer. All right, so now W equals 4. We have to go back to our original problem because it doesn't ask for the width. It asks for the length of the rectangle. You see that? It wants the length. But
Yeah.
you know the width. You know the width is 4. How do you get the length from the width?
That's a good question. I don't know.
What did we write here that I've just circled? What is that?
2W plus 4.
So it's the length in terms of the width. Do you know the width?
2W 4.
Yes. What's the value of W?
4.
4. So put 4 in for W and calculate the width.
4 and for W. It would be 8.
How did you come up with 8? Tell me what you did.
I did 2 times 4.
Okay, that is 8, but is that everything?
No.
You have to add 4 as well.
Plus 4. Which would be 8 again.
It's not 8. You said 2 times 4 is 8. That's true, but then you have to add 4 to it.
Oh, okay. Now it makes sense. That would be 12.
Yes. Now we need units. What are the units of length in this problem?
Units of length. The square inches.
So that's the area. When you talk about the distance or length of something, it's in single units, just inches. Just inches. So the width is 4 inches and the length is 12 inches.
Okay. Inches. Okay. And write this here. Okay. I have it written down.
Okay. So that is the 2 problems you've sent over. Is there another problem that you would like to send?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Standing by here for that.
All right. Are you there?
Yes. All right, so you sent over another problem here. Let's take a look at that together. Snip that in. All right, here we go. All right. One number is two more than a number, I'm sorry. One number is two more than another number. Okay, so for example, let's say one number is 5. What would the another number be? What would the other one be?
One number is two more than a number. 10? Like multiple
More means addition. More
addition.
means
So it
addition.
would be 6 and plus I
Two more. You're adding two.
So 5 plus 5 is 10.
You're adding two, not 5. Adding
Okay,
two.
so 7.
7. Now, could it also be that the other number is 3?
Mm, I guess.
It
Yeah.
could. Is 5 two more than 3?
Yes.
It is, right? Now, with that's where we have to be careful here. Is the first number going to be smaller or larger? And you have to
Mhm.
decide that. Is the first number the smaller one or the larger number?
Okay.
You tell me. The answer doesn't matter, but which one do you prefer?
I would say larger.
So you like going backwards. You like going from 5 to 3. Is that right?
I would say let's go the other way.
Okay, first number is the smaller. Okay, so we're going to call that X. The second number is the larger. Okay, how do you get the larger number from X? What did we do to go from 5 to 7?
We plussed it by 2.
So X plus 2 here.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Mhm.
What is the math operation associated with product?
Okay, now as I'm looking here, cannot find it. What is results of multiplication?
Yes, product is multiplication.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to multiply X times X plus 2. That's the product of these two things. And what is that product? Do you see this word is right there? That's always an equal sign.
Mhm.
Okay, what does that equal?
X times X would be X squared, so then
Plus
plus X,
you're multiplying
2X,
2X, good. And what is the number?
35.
35, good. Now, just like in the previous problems, you have to decide here. Are you going to move the 35 left or the X squared and the 2X right?
I would say removing the X squared and 2X right.
But then you're going to subtract them and that's going to make them negative. Is that what you really mean?
No, I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want that either. So let's move the number right or left in this case. Sorry, 35 left. How do you do that? Is it currently positive or negative?
It's positive.
It's positive. So you're going to subtract 35 from both sides.
Okay.
So on the left side, it's X squared plus 2X minus 35 equals 0.
Mhm.
And now we're gonna factor like we've been doing. Okay. So you have to find
Alright.
two numbers that multiply to minus 35, and we want the one that adds to positive 2. Yes.
Okay. So
Okay, so let's start here. -1 times what number gets you to 35?
35.
35. So it could also be 1 and -35. Now the other one here is -5 and what number?
That would be 7.
+7 or 5 and -7. So which of these adds up to +2?
Okay. -5 and 7.
Yes.
There we go.
So tell me what to write in parentheses here.
Okay. It would be x squared.
Nope, I've never written an x squared in parentheses when we've been doing this. Let's go back and
Okay.
look. See how it was w -4, w +6.
Mhm. Okay.
So what should we
Yeah.
write in parentheses there?
X -5 and then x +7.
Good. Okay, now I want you to set each of those equal to 0 and solve for x.
Look here. W -5, x -4. Let me write this down. And then, okay, so this would be x equals 5. And then, okay, so it'd be x equals 5 and then x equals -7.
Good. Okay, very good. Now remember what you said earlier. You said that these are the smaller numbers, right?
Mhm.
So to find the second number, you have to add 2 to each of these numbers.
Okay,
So I want you to add 2 to each of these numbers here.
all right. So then x plus 7. So would it be x squared plus 7 and then x squared plus 9?
I'm just asking you to take that 5 and add 2 to it.
Okay. Thought it was the whole problem.
Nope.
It would be 7,
Good. And when you add 2 to -7, what does that become?
9. Oh, -9.
Try again.
I guess 5.
So you owe someone $7 and you give
Mhm.
them $2. How much do you owe them?
$5.
So O is negative. O means we think of owing as negative in general.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So here's the summary, right? You're doing this word problem. There's sort of a summary thing. 5 is the first number. 7 is the second number.
Mhm.
And then on the right here, we've got another possibility. We've got that -7 is the first number, -5 is the other number. So let's go back and look at the words and see if this matches. Okay, so let me snip that in here. One number is 2 more than another number. Is 7 2 more than 5?
Yes.
Okay. The product is 35. Is the product of these two numbers 35?
Yes.
Okay, so then we know that that works. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the next one here is -5, 2 more than -7. I know it's a little awkward because it's negatives, but if -5
Yes.
is here on the number line, yeah, it's 2 to the right. So that is now is the product 35. When these two multiply together, do you get +35?
Yes.
Yes. So they both are the solutions. They're both correct.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So,
Certainly got time for another problem, maybe more.
all
What
right.
else would you like to work on today?
So let's do some equations here. Okay, so I will just, they're short, so I'll just tell them. Let's do, I don't believe we've done this. We did this last lesson, these problems, so. All right, so are you ready?
Yes.
X squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0.
Okay. And does it say to solve?
Yes, just solve each equation.
Okay. All right. Okay, this one we've done a bunch of like today. So your focus should be on that last number there. That's 6. Tell me two numbers that multiply to 6.
1 and 6,
Okay.
2
And
and
1
3,
plus 6, yeah, 2 and 3. And when you add these together, do any of them add up to positive 5?
2 plus 3.
Yes. So this is now x plus 2, x plus 3 equals 0.
Okay.
Okay.
That's very
I'd like you to solve that from there, please.
simple. Okay. So two x plus 2 it would be x equals -2 and
Yes.
x equals -3.
Good. All right. Great.
That was, so do you think maybe you could give me a short, like a question that I could solve on my own?
Sure. Yeah. Let's have you try another one here. Let's go x squared plus 8x plus 12 equals 0.
All right. One and 12. Okay. So that would be 26. Yes. Okay, so the answers would be x equals -2 and x equals -6.
Very good. All right. Let's do a couple more here. How about x squared minus 9x plus 20 equals 0?
Mm, 10. Times, okay. X answer would be x equals -4 and x equals -5.
Okay, so what you just told me would be true for x squared plus 9x plus 20 equals 0, because you probably wrote x plus 4 and x plus 5. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, but this one's -9. -9.
Oh,
So how does that change the 4 and the 5?
okay. This would be, one would be negative, so it would be x -4.
Okay.
It's just, and then, so that would be x equals 4 and then x equals 5.
Yes, x equals 4, x equals 5. Very good. All right, you ready for another one?
Mhm.
Great. All right, so here's a new problem for us to look at. It's a little bit different. Let's see if you can tell me what is different about this problem compared to some of the others that we've been doing.
It has a negative sign in front of 11.
Nope, we just did one with a negative in front. That's not what's different.
Okay.
What about
So
over here on the right? What do you see over here on the right?
it's not a 0.
That's right. So how do we make it 0? How do we get 0 over here on the right?
Uh, plus it by 5.
Plus 5. Okay. So now this becomes x squared minus 11x plus 24 equals 0. Okay, so go ahead and try solving this for
Mhm.
us, please.
Equal to 11. X, like that. Okay, so the answer would be x equals 3, and x equals 8.
Very good. All right.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I
got
think that'll probably take us to the end of our lesson here for today. Go ahead and stop the recording.